Last month, a theme park here in the UK challenged me to sit down and ride one of their roller coasters without getting off for 75 minutes straight. That park being Drayton Manor in Tamworth. Home to, of course, various different thrill-leveled rides, from the likes of Troublesome Trucks to their more intense rides like Gold Rush and Accelerator. And when I originally said yes to this challenge, they then replied saying, you have to choose a ride. Which one would you prefer? So I jokingly put the most challenging one, Troublesome Trucks. But of course, they decided to actually put me on the most challenging one and the most intense coaster at the park, the now sit-down coaster with 4 inversions, the Wave. And having done challenges in the past similar to this, I thought, oh, the Wave couldn't be too bad. But I actually did find this challenge quite tough after a while, because riding something like that for 75 minutes straight without leaving the station, it was crazy. Be sure to watch till the end, because not only is some of this stuff really stupid, but I'll also be showing you how to win a Drayton Manor Gold Annual Pass and a money can't buy pass to get unlimited fast track for an entire year. So yeah, watch till the end to see that, and also subscribe so you don't miss future videos much like this one. It would be greatly appreciated. So then, the 75-minute challenge at Drayton Manor. Why are they doing this? Why were we called in to just sit on a ride? For no reason. Well, there was a reason, because it is the 75th anniversary of Drayton Manor this year, and this is what they wanted to do to celebrate part of it. They posted all over their social medias of this challenge, and that you could sign up and you can come to the park and win some prizes if you didn't bail out and you did sit on it for 75 minutes. And you could choose what coaster you wanted to be on, although like I said, I actually did jokingly say, oh, Troublesome Trucks would be funny, why not that one? And they put me on the Wave, which I don't know if I'm thankful for or sad about, because I can't lie, Troublesome Trucks for 75 minutes would be hilarious. Now obviously you might be thinking, oh, you've done all day challenges in the past on Tidal Wave and of course Hero more recently, even though that was over 2 years ago now. Where is time going? Where we rode that 87 times in a row. I mean, that was ridiculous. But Hero was just painful, whereas the Wave can actually be quite intense, and it has more of a force where it grays you out more than it bashes you about. So I hadn't really done anything like this, especially being able to sit on the ride and not leave the seat or the station for that 75 minutes straight. So I actually was a tiny bit nervous, and there were times on it where I actually felt a little bit ill and I didn't know if I could do the whole thing. But let's get on to that and why that was the case, because it's kind of my own fault. We of course walked up through to the station and sat down in the front 2 rows of the coaster. You had some cameras around so they would take photos and videos of whilst we're on the train. Some nice photos like this one of me smiling, and then others, what is that face? And record some of our reactions on ride. And here's where we actually started the challenge. We took our seats and went round for the first time, which was quite an easy run, I feel. The Wave is one of those coasters that I don't ride too often, so of course you've got that lift hill, quite a long lift hill, because that matters so much. I mean, even before that is my favourite part of the ride, where you do the little whoa, incredible stuff, man. And from there you go into a little pre-drop and then round into the full drop down into the vertical loop, which is a great part of the ride. And with those new trains as well, it's not a stand-up coaster anymore, because I could not have done that for 75 minutes. It's a sit-down coaster and you feel very free to move around in your seat. It's only a lap bar, and that vertical loop is the first one where you start to feel how smooth this ride actually sort of is now. Round into the 0G roll, which is the best element on the ride, and that proper whips you out of your seat, especially if you're sat on the left-hand side. And obviously, because we were moving around seats on this a few times, I got to experience that left-hand side a lot, and it does throw you about, I can assure you of that. Nice little bit of straight track, a nice little breather to 2 whippy corkscrews again. If you're sat on the left and right, you get whipped through that, and then a nice turn into the very sharp brakes, which I never really got used to, because even on the last ride I did, I was still going, but hey ho, what can you do? So we had our first ride, as I said, went through that layout, and it was quite nice. It wasn't too intense that one time, and I was like, you know what, this is going to be easy. And that's where my brain kicked in and decided, let's not make this easy. And I started thinking of things I could do, and I didn't really do this with Hero All Day or Tidal Day. I never sat there and was like, what if I look left or right the entire ride? What if I look backwards? What if I look up? That sort of stuff. Nothing crossed my mind before, until I was sat in that seat in the station after the first go. And I can't lie, that was my downfall here. Because the next few rides, I spent the entire time either looking straight off into the distance on my left, straight off in the distance on my right, or even turning around and trying to look backwards. And if you have motion sickness, don't try that, because I can't lie, even thinking about it is making me feel ill. But obviously it's a strange feeling, because you're always looking forwards on these rides, or when they're designed to go backwards, you are just sort of going back with the train. Looking left and right though the entire time, no train in sight, the vertical loop, you're just sort of going round like that. It's so strange. And the 0G roll especially, when I was looking backwards, I think my neck is not intact anymore. There was some rides where I decided to close my eyes and not look where I was going, which is very disorientating as well. I did that on Hyperia at a Planet Coaster 2 event, and that was ages ago now, it feels, but that was stupidly fun. So yes, I decided to do that again. There was a few other things where we sort of just messed about, and I won't be able to show you it because we don't have all the footage, but I did stare at the camera multiple times, just like whilst we went around the entire layout. I think that was so fun. And yeah, we just passed around 30 minutes or so into the challenge, and we were already on 10 rides. How? We were looking good to get many more rides in. I thought 10 was the max. I thought that's what we were gonna get, but no, that's what we were on halfway through. Big shout out to Tom and the Drayton team as well for keeping an eye on us and making sure we're okay, giving us water and stuff. Yeah, thank you. Because from there was so many different rides where the entire group would just be laughing and joking, hands up, hands down. We'd have full-on conversations just going through the loop and stuff. It was so much fun. And we just kept on pushing through until the final ride.
Last one, number 20, I think. Last one, here we go.
Yes, the 75 minutes was up and we had just hopped on for our 20th go.
75 minutes. Come and visit Drayton Manor.
I don't know what I was doing with my hands then. Come and visit Drayton Manor. But 20 rides in 75 minutes. That is a pretty good amount of rides, I feel, for that amount of time. Because, I mean, I've done the maths. If we were there for the entirety of when that ride opened all the way to the end of the day, with no breakdowns at all, having done 20 rides in 75 minutes, we would have just done over 100 in that entire day. That would have been ridiculous. Maybe when it gets to their 80th anniversary, they can do 80 hours on a roller coaster. I'll be there for that. Once again, a massive thank you to Drayton Manor for inviting me down to take part in this challenge. It was great to see so many familiar faces and new faces riding with us, and also just at the event in general, and it was a great time. I did have a few people in my DMs slating me and other people that were at the event when it was Drayton Manor that organised it, but I spoke about that in a previous video. I'm not bringing it up again. But everyone who got through these 75 minutes on their said roller coaster did win a gold annual pass for the park and an unlimited fast track wristband for an entire year. But as much as I appreciate that, I sort of went to this challenge just to sort of do the 75 minutes and see if I could do it. So with that being said, I have decided to give away the gold annual pass and that unlimited fast track wristband to one of you lucky viewers watching this video. And because YouTube isn't exactly the greatest when it comes to giveaways and finding how to contact people and stuff, if you go over to my Instagram page, which is linked in the description, navigate to the most recent post with Drayton Manor in the photos, and that should be the one you're looking for, and the rules for that giveaway should be on that post. But yes, if you want to win a gold annual pass and an unlimited fast track that you can't buy for an entire year, then go and check that post out and enter the giveaway. And who knows, in the future there might be some more giveaways to come, because I really do appreciate all of the support on all of the videos and the channel in general, because it does mean so much to me. And hopefully in a way this is me giving back, and I'm going to do more in the future. So subscribe so you don't miss those future giveaways and future videos much like this one. And yes, I know I need to do Rita all day next. That will happen, I promise. It's just been very complicated trying to sort it all out. Goodbye.